Dr. Doreen Grand-Pichet is the
Dr. Doreen is an expert in autism.
Doreen Grand-Pichet.
Dr. Grand-Pichet.
Dr. Doreen Grand-Pichet.
Dr. Doreen Grand-Pichet is a visionary in the field of autism. Now you can ask her questions on Ask Dr. Doreen.
Okay, I've got another person in the UK who says, my daughter is 16, undiagnosed, and no one will help us. And she says none school attendance. So I take that to mean that they're not attending school. 16-year-old.
Yeah.
And that's a slightly, because we don't talk very much about skills living on this show, and we should talk more about that.
We actually should. You're absolutely right. And again, for first to kind of finish up with the other parents, I do want to say that if you're doing skills and that's leading your program, first of all, bless you, big air hug, as Shannon would say, because that's really impressive. I would get a group of people together to help. Hopefully you've done that. I don't think it's honestly, I guess it's possible. There are a lot of parents who are very, very strong parents and can do this. I'm doing what is called projection, and I'm projecting and saying there's no way I could do it. I don't think I could do a 40-hour program myself. But what I would really suggest is that you get a team of people who can help you, and they can all follow the skills curriculum with you. When we do therapy, it's always a team. There's never just one person, right? So we always have one lead person who's the supervisor, and then we have, let's say, 3 or 4 people who are the team, the behavior technicians, and they each do maybe 8 to 10 hours a week with the child, so that the child is exposed to multiple people. That's important, because we want our kids to generalize what they learn so that they can use it with lots of people and not just one person. And it also helps not burn out all these people. So especially if you're a private family doing this on your own, see if you can get help from, nieces, nephews, cousins, neighbors, people at the church. Just put together a group of volunteers. And we've done this multiple times with people. I've actually... One of our kids who is an adult and may have just received his doctorate degree and is a international lecturer, an extremely successful person. That's how he did. That's what his mom did. His mom gathered a whole bunch of people from their town, and they all provided therapy, and we helped with the supervision. So kudos to you. Get help. I don't want you to burn out. And I do want your child, if they're staying out of school, to really be packed with ABA, because you really want to have benefit from that.
And the skills living program that we were talking about is designed specifically for individuals who are older. And it's so much more comprehensive, because there are so many different things, and no one would use everything that's in it. So you pick and choose what you would use, but it's really good. Now, somebody has written in and said, can I post a link for the IBT training? I'm not able to do that, because what it is a bunch of modules. So you have to be set up with a license for the modules so that you can do it. So it does require that you call that phone number, which is 877-975-4559, or you email me at s.penrod@autism-live.com, and I'll connect you. But I want to give that parent a hug, because they said, my son has 0 services and we are struggling. I need to take matters into my own hands. In Connecticut, there are no service providers who will take our state insurance and keep denying us because I'm a master social worker student and not working because I'm a stay-at-home mom. So I really want to encourage you. That IBT, RBT training will help you immensely to be able to help your child. And then, should you decide that while you're being a student that you want to work, everybody's looking for RBTs to hire. Are they not, Dr. Grand-Pichet?
Oh my gosh. Yeah,
there's
absolutely.
Such a need right now. Yeah.
Huge need, and very valuable credential. And I don't want to forget to answer the question of the parent of the 16-year-old. I do want to address that real quickly. It's basically, it's the same situation wherever you are. If you're in, Connecticut, or if you're in England, it doesn't really matter. This is many, many years ago. The reason that we built out Skills and IBT as two separate companies, the reason we did that was for parents who don't otherwise have access to ABA providers. So essentially, and I'll quickly go through sort of the process and what it is. So basically, what you do is you first go on. Well, you could go either one. IBT is an online portal of ABA procedures and protocols. So it's all the how do we do this? How do I do a discrete trial? How do I do random rotation? How do I do shaping and chaining and differential reinforcement? All these fancy ABA methods. That's in IBT. So if you go into IBT, Institute for Behavioral Training, and it's ibehavioraltraining.com, you go on there, what you'll see is a whole series of short trainings. It starts with, and they're wonderful, wonderful quality trainings, starting with what is autism, and what is ABA, and how do I take ABA and administer it to my child? How do I handle a tantrum? How do I teach using discrete, you name it. There's lots and lots of modules you can select from. And there's even packages that will actually get you through to the point of what, let's say, an RBT does. RBT, by the way, stands for Registered Behavior Technician. There's another credential also called Board Certified Autism Technician. These are the two certificates that you receive after you've completed 40 hours of class time through IBT or through any other agency, and you've taken a national exam that certifies you and says you understand now the basics of what ABA is. But these are just the procedures, and with you don't need the credential necessarily as a parent. It does help you. It's a deeper level of understanding. So if you have the time, I highly recommend either one of those two credentials. And again, you can get them on IBT. Now, that aside, you basically need to know the how to, but you also need to know exactly what your child needs. What are your child's specific needs? And every child is different. As you can see, lots of questions that we're getting. It's a 2-year-old high functioning, 4-year-old with severe delays, 16-year-old. This is all, autism is a huge spectrum, right? So what you should do then is you need to assess your child. You need to figure out, what are my child's needs? And again, for that 16-year-old who's undiagnosed, I assume that this is a high functioning individual, which is why they're not diagnosed. Don't worry, don't get hung up on the diagnosis. This is all about figuring out, what does the individual need help with and how do we teach them? So basically, you will now start with the assessment. You'll go to skillsforautism.com, right? Skillsforautism.com. On there you start with an assessment, and you answer questions about your child. And it'll be a lot of questions. If you're an older individual, if your child is 16, you'll go, is it the same website, Shannon, or is it a?
It is, and I actually think it's slightly better if they call the phone number, because they'll get the discount.
Yes.
And then they'll hook them up with the right one.
Yes.
But it is the same website. It's just a matter of, I think it's very easy to go into the wrong one off the website. So I advocate the phone number, which is again 877-975-4559. And you say that you saw it on Autism Live.
Yes. And so, because there are two skills that we built. First, we built the regular skills, which right now I think is called Skills Developing. And then later we realized that there are so many skills for our children who have now aged a little bit, and they're above the age of like 10. And so then we built Skills Living, which is for older individuals, and that goes all the way through adulthood. And there are different skills, right? Like a 2-year-old or a 5-year-old, I might teach them play, but for a 15-year-old, I might be focused more on dating, so it's very different. So, but both of them start with an assessment, which are a series of questions. Can your child do this or do that? Can this individual play appropriately with peers? Can this individual, go out to a restaurant with a date? Like whatever it is, the question, and you say yes or no. If you say no, then if you say yes, great, it'll track it, but it's just in the group of lessons that are already mastered. If you say no, it'll go into kind of this area of, okay, these are all the things we now need to work on. And you end up with hundreds and hundreds of lessons that are to be taught now, and they're in different areas. Like for instance, for skills for children, the areas are language and social and cognitive and executive functions and play and academic, all these different areas. And so you end up with a series of lessons within each of these areas. And now it's a matter of how much time do you have to use those techniques that you learned in IBT? How many hours a day are you going to use those techniques with this content? So skills gives you the content, IBT gives you the process, the how-to, the protocols. And together, if you know how to, and now you have like a whole list of content that your child needs in order to get closer to their own age level, then you just start teaching. So, and skills puts it in the right order for you. So you'll never teach something advanced when a prerequisite skill has not been taught yet. And skills gives you great, great detail. For the viewers who are already on skills, that you get a massive amount of detail. It'll help you with IEP goals. It'll give you teacher goals. It'll give you all kinds of stuff that you need. So I highly recommend it for all of our parents who are watching who need access to ABA. This is the way to do it.
Wonderful. And you guys are writing in a bunch of questions. I want to remind you that there were a bunch of things that were free on IBT and skills weekly. This week, because somebody asked, because they missed it, parent tackling autism as a family that module is free on on IBT this week. And the RBT 2.0 training, which is that it's many modules, it's 40 hours of training, and it's like a $440 value. That is free on a case-by-case basis. You have to call and tell them that you're a parent and that you want to do it. What they want to hear is that you're going to commit to do the whole thing. They like to give it to people who can use it during COVID. And so the number again to call for that is 877-975-4559. And somebody said, can we get access to the modules even if we're using another ABA company for therapy? And the answer is yes, because that is the right answer. So of course you can. Please take the knowledge and use it in the way that will help you to help yourself or to help you help your child. And I love that they are committed to that.
Hey, thanks for watching Autism Live. To subscribe, click here. And if you'd like to check out some more of our videos, click here.